Welcome to Wiretap Truths. My name is Jesse Perez. I'm here with Jack Simmons and Mr. Wiretap Truths Leland. Man, we're just dropping content after content for you guys. We recently had an episode with Alonzo Wilson, who I owe kind of an apology to. I don't, Leland. I'm not going to speak for you, but I'll speak for myself.
Double
I was like
apology.
I was like that shirt was black,
He
and
was
then
spot on, bro. It was dark navy blue, bro.
And
That
then I
man,
went and looked at the scene. It was actually dark navy blue.
that man
So
knows his stuff, man. Shout out to Mr. Alonzo. And shout out to Miss
just
Donna Adrian Gibson, of course.
yes,
Always, always, always.
executive producer.
Sometimes it looks like a different color depending on the light. You know what I
You
mean?
could
Jack, I was
I could have sworn that
1000%
was
sure. We're talking about the
Yeah.
scene in season 3 when Brianna's confronting Avon and confronting Stringer about if because Minota told her that somebody probably killed D'Angelo. We're talking about that scene, and Jesse asked Alonzo, "Hey, I'm pretty sure that everybody was wearing red, white, and blue, but Stringer's shirt was black." And I said the same thing. I was like, his shirt was definitely black. It was definitely dark midnight blue. Like it was. He was
yeah.
spot on. With
You
his
doubled
shit,
down on it. You were like, no,
yeah, I
it's
doubled
definitely
down. I
black.
was sure, bro. I knew in my head, like when he's leaning back, I'm like, this is black. It was blue. Man, he knows his stuff, man. That was a phenomenal interview from him too.
Yeah. So shout out Alonzo Wilson, and I want the answer to that question, man. I want to know what name brand was on season 1 that was not on season 2.
I know. Yeah, I know. Me and you still. We need to rewatch. We need to rewatch episode 1 and see if we can try to figure out what's what. But yeah, glad to be here. Back in the essence of what our podcast is. I'm glad to have our whole team here. Jack, our resident comedian, Jesse, our co-founder, and the crystal ball behind this whole podcast. So glad to be here with the team. We are approaching 100,000 views. So probably in the next week or so, and definitely by the time this comes out, we'll be at 100,000 views of the channel in under 6 months. So, we're just steadily moving. We haven't even finished season 2 yet, and we're bringing you all a lot of content from the Baltimore world, Baltimore film crews, just a lot of stuff that we are planning. So we are glad to be here. So you all want to introduce the episode? Let's get it started.
Yes, sir. This episode is called All Prologue. Prologue obviously is the after the book ends, right? The epilogue is the beginning. No, wait. The prologue is the beginning, right? Hold on. What's wrong with me? Prologue, beginning of the book.
I
Yeah, the
don't even know to
prologue's
tell you the
before
truth.
the
I think
main
I looked it
story.
up, the
Okay,
definition.
what's wrong? Sorry, I should have looked that up beforehand. The prologue happens before the main story, so I don't really know why this is called all prologue. Oh, you know what it is? And actually, that makes sense. It has to do with they're talking about the Great Gatsby later on, and he's saying that like you can never have a second chapter, right?
Second chapter.
That's the and so he's saying that he's constantly you can never really escape your past or escape like where you come from. It's everything is in the first chapter. So the title is saying all prologue essentially is just saying everything happens in the beginning and you can't really escape that.
So that's funny because I was just saying that to you guys. This seems like a part A to the end of a part A to season 2, and then the rest of it seems like a part B. We got the closing on a lot of chapters here.
For sure.
We almost like Omar putting away Bird, kind of like silences the Omar versus Barksdale for a little bit. The of major spoiler, the death of D'Angelo. So we see the end of his storyline. And Nikki meeting with Prop Joe and getting Ziggy out of that jam that he's in for the moment takes him out of that jam, that storyline jam for him. It almost seems like the end of a part A. And to me, for right now, I'll redefine this answer throughout the series probably, but this is the best episode of the series for me.
The whole show?
Yeah, and in recent memory, I might change my mind going down doing the rewatch again. But for right now, this is the best episode of the show.
That's an interesting. I never thought about picking one episode, but
Yeah.
there are definitely some.
What do you mean by?
Know, bro? Season 4 has a few. Season
What do you mean by
3 has a
best? Because
few.
like best is kind of vague. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like he means just it. So like there are moments
This
in
is
this episode where that are legendary. There is the closing of a few storylines that are major to the wire, like D'Angelo, kind of thing. So Jesse's he's just ranking like what happens in this episode is so impactful. And some of the moments are just, obviously classic, but he's looking at it as if this was to end season 2, it could serve as a series finale or a season finale kind of thing. That's why Jesse's saying that. And he made some valid points because he's not far off with that thought. Like when I was rewatching last night, I'm like, damn, from beginning to end, yeah, this is a great episode. It really is. It is a phenomenal episode. But for him, he came out with that last week, Jack, and was like, I'm pretty sure this might be the best episode in the whole series. So
yeah,
we've been kind of talking about it, but I don't know. It's a valid point though. It's a valid argument for it.
Yeah, well, as Jesse mentioned, this is D'Angelo's last episode, and so as it's interesting how that happens. Often, the character that dies will have their line be in the quote. I don't know if you noticed that. That's like a pattern, and it even kind of has to do with his philosophy. It don't matter that some fools say he different. We'll get to that later on.
Yeah,
right?
Which is a phenomenal character analysis moment. That little scene that you're talking about, Jack. It's a phenomenal it's one of the moments where it's like, damn, The Wire is so thought out. Like it's a phenomenal foreshadowing scene and moment. Like I absolutely love that scene. Like
and we'll discuss that later on. But with the show starts off, there's a recurring storyline. Like Jesse said, this is the ending to a lot of storylines, and this is the ending to the William Gant shooting, which happened at the end of the first episode. So in a way, it's the end of a storyline that's been developing since the beginning of the show, right? They eventually find Bird, that they tie him to the shooting. Omar agrees to testify. So in here, he's in the waiting room. It starts off, he's like sitting across from some guy that works for the sheriff's office, and he's like doing a crossword puzzle, and he's trying to figure out the god of war. And he says Ares, and Ares is the Greek god of war. Mars is the Roman name for it. So he just said it's the same person, different name. It's interesting that he is so into the Greek mythology. Because in a way he kind of carries himself with this. He kind of acts like a god amongst the city. You know what I mean? He's has this invincibility. He believes he's immortal. Like nothing can. He doesn't abide by any rules or any laws. So he carries himself in that sense. And even in the courtroom, he doesn't wear a suit or anything. He wears the same jacket he was wearing beforehand. He just has a tie that's put on him.
That's what she asked me for.
Yeah.
She said something with a tie. I gave it to her. Okay. And the little taunting of Stringer, we can't, or we won't say the word that Stringer says to Omar, but that little taunting, when he walks past him and flips the little tie at him and gives him
that's great.
Love it. Phenomenal.
Very he gives it like a finger gun, it's very slick, it's true. This season, this has a lot of this says the F slur, the R, the N word, a lot of very slur heavy television. But it's how it was, man. It's how people talk, and so I like that real level of realism, personally. But anyway,
I took down that note with what you're talking about later when Nikki says the N word again, like maybe completely necessary to show this is how people talk. It's not racist. He's not being a racist or anything. Like just because he said it, it ain't like
Right.
He's just simply letting them know what's going on. But I don't know if in today's day and age, I don't know if these kind of uncomfortable words could be said like that. I don't know. Even on an HBO, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that with the right producer's mindset, I mean, it's not just slurs that make things realistic, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying it adds to that level of like he doesn't cut any corners, or no
Nope.
characters are made to be better than they are, right? Um, he doesn't pull any punches. So we get a continuation of the special unit that's Daniels has cut through, and he's got all of the people there. They're now just including Freeman and Bunk. They're kind of tying their murder investigations to the Frank Sabaka information, but they
Yep.
hit a wall because really nothing that's under Frank Sabaka's name looks that sketchy. Um,
Nope.
they don't really know how to. They don't really know where to go from here. The undercover drugs operation, like using Herc as an informant, really hasn't gotten anywhere. They've gotten some people selling it, but it doesn't really tie much to the ports,
Yeah.
so they don't really know where to go. And then,
And Jack, hold on, just a quick question. I want to interject and ask y'all this before you go on. Is the Omar opening scene, Jesse, a top 10 co open for you? No question.
I actually don't think it makes the top 10.
What? What?
Yeah. We can't
Why
we can't
not?
we can't fill up the top 10 with Omar's.
It
Oh,
just might
everybody
just
wants to
be
go
what
over.
it is, though. I mean, like I love that cold open though.
It's a
Like when
really good code
she's
open.
asking
I
about
don't
where he's from and what he does for a living. Like I don't know. I think it might be. I don't know.
so I actually got a top 10 in my head that I'll go over with you later.
I was about to say too.
Yeah.
When we put this together, y'all, that's
yeah,
how we
we'll
should do it. We should
we'll
all
discuss our
do
top tens.
right.
Yeah,
We should all make our list and then see what if any are
interlapping.
conflicting or right. Exactly. That's
Yeah,
how we'll
that'd
compile
be
our
a
list.
good special episode.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
talk.
I don't know when y'all want to shoot it or when we're gonna shoot it, but I
Yeah.
know it'll probably be for the end of the year. But
Yeah,
that's
that'll be a
yeah,
good random
yeah.
episode.
That's a good one. We all list our top tens and then see where we meet in the middle. I like that. I
Mhm.
like
Oh yeah. BD Russell kind of comes through here though,
that. Big
and
facts.
you know, I one thing I like about the way that the show develops BD is that when we first meet her, she doesn't really care that much about her job, or she's just kind of taking it as a way to make money to support her
Yep.
family. But as the show goes on, we discover that she's actually a pretty good detective,
She
and
locks in.
she actually becomes passionate about the work, almost
Yep.
happenstance.
Even all the way up to the season finale, Jack, when she's following Spiros and
Hmm.
she's kind of undercover with it, like and then who was it? Was McNulty or was it Bunk that said when she started she didn't know much, but now she's green or something like
Right.
that? They said at the when she was following
Yeah.
Spiros. So
Well, she
she
becomes
definitely takes it
passionate
serious.
about it. Yeah, and she realizes how like corrupt the system is, which angers her. I think her level of like empathy, specifically for the victims, makes her so so competent at being able
Yeah.
to do her job well and investigate and find those little kind of in the same way McNulty. That's kind of their bond, is that they both care about it from like an ethical standpoint, not just
Yeah.
of like, oh, this is our job, what we have to do.
Cause she was shook when she found them bodies, bro. She was
Yeah,
definitely, she was like, she couldn't believe it. Like
right.
she was freaking out almost. And yeah, that's definitely I took down that note too. Respect to Beatty. Hurt is amused too. I don't know if it's because she's a pretty lady that's
Yeah,
maybe showing she's a good cop, but it seems like everybody has a crush on Beatty. You
that
know,
makes sense. She's very attractive, and
yeah,
she comes up with the idea of
maybe it's the
the
checkers.
checkers,
Yep.
because they're the people that monitor what comes in and out of the stations, what Johnny 50 does.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her first time coming through. Then Herc takes notice of it and just immediately asks her to get a cup of coffee.
I'm
No.
Thomas. You want some coffee? I love
Oh yeah.
how Carver mocks him too. Like you look like a fucking idiot. Like that was
Right.
like his energy with him. That
But
shit was
what's
so
funny is
funny.
that Herc doesn't give a shit too. That's
No,
the way
he doesn't.
through all the that's how you handle rejection. Is you just all right? I don't
He
care.
said I was gonna ask for a panties to make some
Yeah,
soup with, but I didn't think she'd get it.
he's not
Like
like,
I love that. I love
oh
that.
yeah, I like that he's not like embarrassed at all or anything. He's
Nah,
just like, all right,
I
well,
love
I
that.
guess that's that. But
And
it also, he's just so bold. Like it's like the first day you're work. It's a fucking coworker, and it's like the first time you meet her out of nowhere. You're like, hey, you want to get coffee?
you don't know if she
Get the
got a
fuck out of here.
husband, a dude, or whatever. Like.
And she doesn't. The great acting by her too, because she doesn't respond. She just holds up her cup, like I already got it.
Not interested, dickhead. And also too, Kima is McNulty in this scene when they're like, "Hey, Kima, Prez wants you to start looking at girls." She like,
Yeah,
"Shit, no
yeah,
problem, not
yeah.
a problem, Lieutenant." She's serving as McNulty here. I love that.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's it's kind of Kima's first time back out on the streets too. Doing
Yep,
what she loves doing.
yep,
That's funny you say that, Leland, because that could add to the whole prologue thing of the beginning of Kimo becoming McNulty. Because
Right.
season
yeah.
3, she's full blown McNulty.
Bro, full. I mean, they
Yeah.
they they are McNulty 1 and 2,
Yeah,
like all the way up to the season finale when she in the hotel room with the girl and she
Yeah.
using McNulty as the alibi.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
She's
yeah.
full on McNulty in season 3. Like
Mc,
you
Womanizing the
said that.
drinking. It's
Yeah, facts, facts. She drinking
McNulty
beer. She pissing outside. She's full on McNulty in season
yeah,
3,
dude.
bro. You said that. You hit that on the head right there. That's funny.
McNulty giving her the good advice on how to get away with cheating on your spouse.
He
Yeah,
said, "Oh no, it's simple." He said, "It's simple."
yeah. That was a real like mentor protege kind of moment of that, and it's almost like she constantly has to choose too. Well, also Daniels in a way, he I mean, his marriage is already falling apart. But like as soon as McNulty's like introduced, everybody's marriage just starts falling apart, and
Yes. And y'all know
other
what, too?
relationships go.
Just because you said that, Jack, when Bunk said to McNulty, like, people, you burn down shit, everybody around you. You're terrible for everybody around you. Like, I never really thought about that like that until you just said that.
Mm.
McNulty, if the case never happened, Daniels and his wife probably still be married. Because he
Well, I
probably
mean,
would have
yeah,
went against Morrell,
yeah.
probably wouldn't have got thrown into the basement.
You can't blame at a certain
You
point. You
can't,
people,
you can't. But Bunk did
yeah,
say, "Hey, everybody around you, bro. Shit happens to everybody around you." I'm just thinking of that statement.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's what Bunk says to
yeah,
Jimmy. He just says you're no good for people,
right.
and it kind of becomes true as the
Right, that's
show
what I'm
goes on.
saying. Yeah, but no, it was their marriage was done. It was
Yeah,
done. It was really done in season 1, kind of thing. When she
and
was
Kima's
there.
marriage starts to fall apart in season 2, also.
Yeah,
You know?
Cheryl's pissed. She's
Yeah.
probably more mad than Marla is at Kima than Marla is with Daniels. Like,
I just love that
Cheryl,
her name is Cheryl too, because I just think of Cheryl from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
yeah,
Of Larry's
she's
wife.
pissed though. She's not happy with Kima
Right.
whatsoever. Like,
Oh
she's
yeah.
heated. Marla isn't that. She's mad, but she doesn't get really mad until like when Daniels takes the murders, and
Right.
then he's kind of like, "Well, shit. Well, I'm full. I'm back into like police work. I ain't really thinking about being a lawyer no more."
Because their careers are entangled also, just like their
Exactly,
marriage shows. So there's
exactly.
an extra
That
element.
that's when she kind of lets him know, like, "Yeah, I'm not really. You're not ambitious anymore. But when he goes back initially, I don't think she's as mad as Cheryl is with Kima. Cheryl was talking to Kima crazy this episode. Like, I don't know if y'all took down that note, but she was talking crazy to Kima this episode. Like,
Yeah, she was
she said,
pissed.
maybe I see something I like at the strip club. Like, the
Mm.
fuck? What? Like, she was talking crazy to her this episode. She's not happy at all
Oh
that she's
yeah.
back working. Like, she's not happy at all, bro.
Yeah, and we're constantly kind of cutting back and forth between the courtroom scene of Omar testifying, and it kind of plays out like procedural, and it's reminiscent of the first episode because you even have Jimmy sitting behind
Behind Stringer?
Stringer
Yep.
and kind of like shit talking each other back and forth, like big dicking each other,
Yep.
and I like that, like Stringer thinks like, well, they said he was not the street said he was no longer near the killing, and Jimmy says like we're not on the street, and
It's a court of law.
yeah, and he also knows like the court's on his side because first off you have Phelan who's the judge who's like got that prosecutorial mindset of like these people are shitheads. He already feels embarrassed because this was his case when he was
the witness
presiding
in his court.
Right. So
yes, I'm biased.
In a way, yeah, exactly.
Shit.
And in a way, like if I was Levy, I would argue that it was like thinking of a lawyer defense. I would argue that there's like a conflict of interest, right? Because it's his thing.
This was the witness in your court.
Right. So you have feelings about it one way or the other.
You're prosecuting the potential shooter to that witness that was in your court.
That's the argument I would go with.
I don't know if it's legit though. I don't know if that even is considered a conflict of interest.
No, I don't know either. I'm not a lawyer,
I don't know.
But I'm just saying, if I was a lawyer, that's what I would argue in his case.
No, this judge is on bullshit.
Yeah,
Hell no.
He's looking to lock him up, and Levy does a great job. This is one thing that's great about this episode too. Is it's actually one of the few episodes you see real Levy doing real lawyering, like arguing in court.
He's trying to.
Yeah, he was really trying.
He's trying to lawyer Omar to death to sway the jury, but Omar, he not budging. Like it's not even. He don't even really care about his truthful answers. Like he like, yeah, shit.
Yeah, I mean he's able to look. He's able to look Bird right in the face and basically, with the knowledge of like I'm gonna put you away in jail. Like he's not afraid or anything. He tells him like, oh, this was his gun. He liked to, he liked to wave it around and brag about it, and then Bird snaps at him, has to get restrained.
He looked like a rabid pit bull dog that need a muzzle. Like he jumped on the table and shit.
I mean, it makes sense from his perspective because it's like he is about to go away for the rest of his life, and this is the person that's gonna
death penalty. Shit.
Yeah, this is the person that's gonna cause it. So
yeah,
it's like
acting like that is not gonna help you in the courtroom.
No, yeah.
So
definitely.
It doesn't make sense. It actually makes no sense to act like that, though. Like in the courtroom,
If I was his lawyer, I'd be like, sit your little ass down, man.
You gotta control your.
That ain't helping.
You gotta control your anger. The thing I love about Omar here is that he's just he's telling one big lie, but everything else is the truth. Everything is covered by the truth. The whole
right, exactly. He's genuine to himself.
The part that he has to actually lie about, when she asks, like when you see the gun on the day of the murder, he's like, pretty much like, "Fuck you mean? It was in his hand."
Yeah,
I'm lying, but he's like, "The fuck you think? It was in his hand, duh."
Yeah, and even when Levy asked him too, like, how are we supposed to believe you? He's like, it's up to you guys.
Right, exactly.
Shit, and I love that he says the shit that he says, Jack, about Bird. He's like, yeah, Bird covered them shiny little pistols. He's just putting his shit like in the street to make him look so ridiculous to the jury. Like it's like, and the boy didn't throw it off after the daytime murder. He trifling. It's like, damn, I kind of gotta believe this witness. It sound like what he's talking about. Like,
well, even with the whole like, how many times have you been arrested? Like, not enough not to take it personal. Like, there's no grudge against the police. It's like he does what he does. I love Omar's testifying is probably one of the reasons why I think this is the best episode. Just the whole. I love that whole. How does a man rob drug dealers and live? Tell about it. He's like, a day at a time, I suppose. I just love that. That's just
like he had, and I think you said this last episode or one of the special episodes. He had an answer. He had the perfect answer to everything in this episode. Like it was like his dialogue and responses were just, what did you say? I think you said too perfect or something like that.
Well, I say the wire writing is too perfect in general. Like nobody doesn't stutter without, what I'm saying? Like you don't have an answer for it, but that's the wire writing is modern day Shakespeare.
Yeah, for sure. Him in court, y'all, is crazy in itself. Like the fact that he is the main witness. Yeah, so I do rob drug dealers. I do that. I'm
What's the
honestly
ultimate
like,
irony? It's a city where no one is completely innocent, so it's like you might as well get a guy. You know what he is? You might as well get a guy like this to be the witness. It makes no difference. At the end of the day, it's his character is not on stand, which
exactly.
is not on trial, which
There
is
you
why he
go.
lost the case. Him robbing drug dealers and
Ain't
all
got
that's
shit to do with
Levy's
shit, Jack.
right. That's Levy's whole argument is that like we can't trust the word of this guy because he robs drug dealers. So he is as much of a scumbag criminal as
Just like
people,
you, man.
and he's basically equivalizing like, well, we all kind of take a place in this corrupt system, but there's a self-awareness to him that's
Mm-hmm.
refreshing, and I think the jurors that understood that he's not trying to make himself seem better than who he is. He's chaotic neutral. You ever see those charts of chaotic? He is chaotic neutral to a fault. He does not. He has his own code. He doesn't put a gun on civilians.
Yep.
But he doesn't think of himself as a good person or being an
Right.
upstanding citizen. He
Nope.
knows he's a criminal. He doesn't care. Levy, on the other hand, pretends like he is actually doing something positive for the community
And
when
could
he's
go away
actually
for
more of a
life if they hit him with any of some real investigation. Like,
right. So I think the ironic thing is that Levy was trying to put Omar's character on question, but the jury actually realized that Levy's character is more suspicious than Omar's
Well, when
because
Omar calls it out, when he goes, you got the
yeah,
suitcase. He said, "You got the suitcase. I got the." Even the judge is like, "What do
he
you
looking
want?"
like, bro, what the fuck do you want me
Yeah,
to do?
there's
I'm
less
gonna,
of
What
an
do you
honesty
mean?
there. You're right.
I'm gonna shout out an extra too because the way the conversation's going, it seems like we're just gonna bundle the court conversation into this one
Well, yeah.
conversation here. So all the court shots. Um, I'm gonna shout out the extra. I don't know if you guys noticed him, the white guy in the front. That when he said that wasn't no attempt murder, I just fixed it so he couldn't sit right.
Mm-hmm.
This extra just lets out a genuine laugh, like he's
Yeah.
actually like really impressed by it, and you could see he's voting not it. I don't know. Did you guys see this extra that I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
I mean,
And I'm
yeah, no,
like,
I think they were. Yeah, no, that
and I
was.
was like, if I was like in the courtroom, I'd be like, that guy believes Omar. So shout out to that extra, whoever you are. If
Yeah.
you're out there,
I
get in
wonder
touch
if
with
they were
us.
told
Let me
the
know.
extras were told like not told what the script was, but to just react genuinely as they
Yeah.
would if they were like in a jury, and so it's like people would just find that like, or if they were told no, laugh at this line. I wonder because I think that it was such good acting that you just seemed like they were
Yeah, I
just
don't know
reacting
that
to whatever was being said, you know.
that extra's laugh stood out to me. Like I
Yeah.
felt like he was really in the courtroom hearing that. So shout out to you, extra, whatever your name.
You know why it's great though? Like you mentioned how everything comes full circle because in the very first episode, Eileen Nathan is being humiliated because of that one witness who refused
Mm.
to identify D'Angelo.
Wait,
And
but no,
Levy ends up
that wasn't Eileen Nathan though. That was a different lawyer.
oh right. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that
but
was a
she
different one.
no, but humiliation for sure though. She got the
Yeah,
yoke
right.
on her face
Okay.
when the
But
witness.
Levy ends up winning and
Yeah,
now it ends up like, it's his turn to suffer the defeat,
I
you know.
wonder if
full
she was
circle
supposed
moment.
to. Do we ever see that lawyer again?
Nope,
I
Yeah.
wonder if she was supposed to be Eileen Nathan and they just changed actresses
maybe.
because a
That's a
lot of
good
things changed
question.
from pilot to.
That might be, yeah, right? Like Jerry's parents in Seinfeld. Yeah, that
I think
that
that
could have
might
been
be
a
the case.
thing. Yeah.
Off of what you text yesterday, Jesse. You sent me what is it? A good concept, unproven theories
Mm,
of the Wire. That might be something that we can. That seems like a very thought out episode. That's definitely something Jack would probably put his mind to for sure. Like we kind of want to think about maybe an unproven theories episode. Jack, we kind of talking
right.
about just different random episodes. Like that might be
Can you
something.
guys see
Where
this
the fuck did
face?
she go? Where?
Oh, you got.
He looking so bad. Look at.
I just I just have to show up back.
He looks so bad. Oh
Yo,
shit.
could this be the picture that goes?
Yeah, no, that's the one. That might be the one. That might be the one. That's a good shot.
I'm
If
just
you
gonna
can you
have this as
screenshot your computer, Jack?
was that?
You know how to screenshot your computer screen?
Yeah.
If you
I
can
might
if you can take a screenshot then and send it to me, I'll make that one this episode. I'll look at it because I got to think. maybe Omar in court is probably a better thumbnail, but that one is that's
Yeah.
a funny ass
Well, yeah,
thumbnail.
that's after he gets called out by Omar. It's that
Yeah,
look of pure like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like
I'm
he couldn't
pissed.
believe it. He couldn't and the way the judge responds is like, well, all right, you open this can of worms, dude. Like you gotta do,
Yeah,
I
he's
wonder. I'm gonna have a lawyer come on. He said he's gonna this guy's gonna take the project like real serious. He's like, I'm gonna watch the series again. I'm gonna write down all the like law and stuff, and I'm gonna.
good
So I was like,
shit.
oh, this is gonna be awesome.
That's
So
good
when he
shit.
does, yeah, when he does come on, man, I'm friends with him on Twitter.
right.
It's gonna be a good episode. I'm gonna ask him one of the questions. I'm gonna ask him is Levy that great of a trial lawyer? I think
Mhm.
we only see him
Mm.
on trial twice, but he usually goes for the plea bargains. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
most cases wind up in plea bargains. There's of course cases very rarely end up going to trial. Um, it's because there's so much money and everything involved. Like 90% of or something like that. Like most cases don't go to trial.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, this is the one of the times we see Levy lose, and he
So
gives
we only
everything
see
into him.
Levy in trial one, and he's one and
Right.
one. So we don't
Mhm.
know how great he is at trial law.
hmm Um. Yeah. So. Uh. To make a long story short, because of the lack of evidence because of Omar's being a key witness and his arguments sound, the judge finds him guilty, and Levy tries everything to salvage this case by asking for an
Appeal.
investigation, an appeal, because they're saying that the key witness lied on stand,
I
and
love
the judge,
Phil's acting here, Mister
right?
Levy. Get a grip on yourself.
I like, and as he's like, unless he's the Messiah returned to Earth, he
Hey,
like,
shout out to Frejo Star for actually being like, "Huh? What?" Like he
right.
just
Right,
played
right.
that.
Facts.
He's
He played that.
are you the Messiah returned to Earth? Huh? Pff. That
He's
the
like, "Well,
dialogue
no."
is
He
great.
thought
He's
about answering the question, which was hysterical. He's like, "Are
right.
you Jesus Christ reincarnated?" Or whatever it was like, "Are you Jesus Christ reincarnated?" And he was like, "Well, like, he was,
Yeah.
Let me think
I
about
don't
it.
know what Bird was fixing to say. I think Bird was about to say, "Yes, I, yes, I might be."
But we're also, it's great because he was just like maybe I don't know. It's also like Phelan's coming back from the first episode, right? He's been waiting this whole time to finally like close that chapter, and so him personally, he's like, for once in my life, like a judge, like I'll actually feel like I mean something. My job actually means something in this case,
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm not saying as well as he is, but that's essentially what he's trying to say.
no. That's why this episode I feel has a lot of closure. Like you, like even
Exactly.
that, like you just said that I didn't even notice. Like Phelan says, I finally get to do some justice here.
Right.
Like this feels like a closing. It feels like part A to season two. That's
Yeah.
what a part A closing a part A.
Um. Yeah. No, I completely agree. And yeah, and justice is actually served. Now, we see them later on reconvene in the hallway, and they have that little moment between McNulty. He's even like subtly flirting with Eileen Nathan. She's like, "Is it good for you as well?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Bird comes out, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll see you soon, Bert."
Mm-hmm.
Talking
Yeah,
shit to him.
Bird had to be restrained. And there's the great question. I wanted to know what you guys think, because it's kind of genius where Jimmy asked him, he's like, "Did you really see him do it?" And he's like, "Do you really want to know?" And Jimmy's like,
Yeah.
"Not really." And it's like, to this day, I don't know if he really saw him or not. It's never really revealed to the audience. It's kind of left up
N-
there. It's almost
No, I
beside
think
the point.
no,
Like, it
I
doesn't,
think it's pretty. I think it's pretty well known that Omar did not see him.
that
He was
didn't
It's
see him.
lying.
yeah, that Omar's lying.
He was lying. Even
It was
Kima questioned it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you really. If she asked Lester, like,
well, it
Mhm.
was he was he was lying on the spot, so obvious to Kima, which was the
Yeah,
crazy part. It was crazy
that makes
where
sense.
I guess they tried to salvage Kima as like a goody two shoe because, but her there, if they really made Kima like this goody two shoe, she would have been like, "No, you're lying to me." Because
Right.
Omar was like, "Oh, you need a witness? Okay, I was there."
And I like that. They don't
You
make
know?
her into a, what do they call it, a Mary Sue. She's not like one of those characters that's like too perfect, you know. She has
Yeah.
flaws like that. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's because even then, like Daniel says, like calls her out on allowing this guy to lie to her, but Bird had to go anyway. You know, he was a piece of shit, so it was his time to go. Um, the other storyline that's kind of closed here is Jimmy's real attempt to get back with Elena.
Right.
And yeah, I kind of like what we're doing here, where we combine the scenes into bundles of storylines. I feel like that makes them more of a natural flow. But anyway, we'll discuss that off.
For this episode, it fits perfectly. I don't
Yeah,
know how it would
exactly.
fit for other episodes.
Oh yeah,
Because
okay.
like I said, this episode has a bunch of closures to it,
Right.
and now we yeah.
You know, it's interesting. She's, even though they're getting divorced, she still has her his last name, because
Right.
on her sign it says Elena McNulty. Um, but that's a funny scene when when she's like talking to potential clients about buying houses, and he comes in and starts like fucking with the mannequin and
Mhm.
undressing her, and then she's like trying not to laugh in front of these people who are just blathering on about their houses, and he's like escalating it further by, like, you know, giving it tongue and everything. There's like a, you can tell there's still a little bit of spark between them two, right?
Mhm.
And Jimmy has the idea. He's like, "Look, I signed your papers. Why don't we go out for dinner one night, you know, this week?" And she says, like, after she says, like, "Why don't I tell you, go fuck yourself now?" And then you get someone else to go for dinner and a movie, right? But she agrees as long as he pays the sitter. He has that classic McNulty smile and walks away, knowing that he's going to go out with her.
I know I had to get off camera for a second. I had somebody in my
Yeah,
office, but him in her office undressing the mannequin like that.
yeah, yeah. We just
I
talked
know
about
y'all
that.
probably spoke on that. It's pure comedy.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
let me
great.
just say that. Like, he is fucking hilarious in that little scene. Like, how childish are you at her fucking real estate office to be undressing this mannequin like they're not gonna see it when they leave? Like,
That's a real like couple shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Good physical comedy acting from him. The next time we see them, though, they're on a in a restaurant together, right? And she, even though they're at dinner, she's still really pissed off at him, constantly saying like, "Want to go fuck that waitress?" and like, "Oh, you're not gonna have any more drinks." And
And Jimmy's lying out of the skin of his teeth here, which like just shows you that like he says, I don't do that too much, right? No more or
mm,
something like that. Like he's like, and you know, it's good to see in season 4 when he's actually serious about it. But I'm glad Elena doesn't fall for this because he's lying, and it's just gonna, if she does accept
yeah.
him back, it's just gonna fall into the same trap. So
Right, he's not really ready to change just about yet. But in his mind, though, he's like, "Look, as long as this case is fit, like he's like, after this Bird case, he's like, that's the last kind of open thing." He's kind of just, in his mind, he's like, "I'm ready to hang up the police. I'm gonna detective thing. I'm just gonna work on the boat, have a fucking easy life, and like get back together with you, and like, well, let's try again." And I think that's what he wants, because he doesn't see his, not because he genuinely wants it, but because he's like, "I'm not getting anywhere with my career at this point." And she's like, "How about a fuck for the road?" Right? And then they have some you know, they get busy with it. And then
it's in his contract, Jack. I mean,
yeah,
if we
you
ever
gotta
get
fuck.
Dominic West on, we gotta ask him.
Right, yeah.
My wife mentioned in it, was it a show or a movie that he's in or something? He like freaky ass dude in the movie too, like, kind of thing. So maybe that is in his contract
Who
and
do
shit.
I fuck this weekend? Yeah.
that would have been funny if there's like no sex in the scene, and he's like telling David Simon, "I think this scene
This
should
is
be a little more
important.
realistic."
Yeah, this is important for my character. Um, yeah, no, but the next morning he's like up, you know, he's already up and about, has his coffee, reading the newspaper, and he's like, "What are we doing today?" He's ready to like fucking, let's move past, get back together as a family,
He
right?
said, "I'll go to my house and get some
Yeah,
things." He
Right.
said,
and I guess
"No, my
Jimmy has.
boy."
I guess there is like a notation of Jimmy with this, I guess it does make sense a little bit with the season 3 girl, like with him just not getting the hint because she tells him at dinner, like, no, it's just sex.
It's
Let's
just
just have
sex.
sex. Like, I'm
Facts.
not inviting
But
you.
he thinks he's gonna be able to convince, you know.
Maybe, he's like, shit. Well, if I can get laid, maybe I can, But
Yeah.
you right, Jesse. She say at dinner, no, I'm not really on that with you. Let's just go back to the house and do what we
Yeah.
got to
Fuck,
do.
and then
But
yeah.
she lets him know quick, like we ain't on shit. You about to get up out of here before the kids get back. Let's not even hype them up, kind of thing. And like, she's right though,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because
She's
she
got to
knows,
start dating the
like.
guy that goes to the Orioles game in the suit. Yeah, that's a
On the phone and shit at the
yeah.
game, had them bomb ass seats though. He had the seats though for
He
sure.
got her those seats. That's
Got
true.
them seats though.
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, but yeah, so it's unfortunate for Jimmy because he's like in a way he's trying to put this whole case behind him. He even tried everything to find any next of kin or identification for that woman whose picture fell into the water, but he tried everything from customs to immigration to INS, and unfortunately couldn't do it. So he goes back to Dr. Frazier and has the body put into like I guess the uh, I don't know wherever they go, and then ends up going to that mass grave, and that's kind of the end of that. At the moment, Jimmy feels like he's done. He's just gonna go back to fucking working on the
Oh,
boat at this point. So yeah, it's kind of finale of that chapter. However, the Sabakas are in a lot of trouble too, and as we know, Ziggy still owes Cheese all that money, and now they don't have the car to use as collateral, and they can't pay, and they're getting threatened. So Nikki's like, why don't I go to my gangster friends of the my European gangster friends over at the cafe to find some help. And he lets Spiros know. He's like, look, we can get you these drugs and everything, or these chemicals, right? But we have a problem of my own. And they're with this guy Aton, who's means serious fucking business. I forgot how tough of a motherfucker Aton is. He
that
is one of the
motherfucker
hardest.
don't smile at all,
Yeah,
Jack.
dude, he is fucking intense. I never realized. I forgot about Aton is like a badass motherfucker in this show.
We don't really talk about him necessarily, like when we talk about the Greeks and shit. But bro,
Hmm.
you're right.
Yeah,
He
he
went
does
with
not
no
fuck
he
around.
went with none of the shit that them folks were like trying to talk to him about. Like he was like, look, man, what's up with the business? Like
Right.
he wasn't playing no games, bro. He really wasn't.
Hmm. Oh yeah, so yeah, he is a serious dude. And so Spiros tells Nikki, look, you bring us the chemicals and we pay, and then we'll help you out with Cheese Wagstaff.
And Jesse, what Sparrow say? He said, if you want, we'll kill him.
Yeah.
I wonder if this was a test.
Right,
Um,
I think so too, actually.
because Nick plays it out. He goes no, and then what happens?
Nick's like,
We,
this guy's smart.
yeah. He's like, they see my cousin walking. Now we got beef with him. They'll shoot
Yep.
a year later. They'll shoot him. And then he looks at Ethan. He said, "What I tell you?
Nico,
Nico's
smart.
smart. Yeah, yeah."
They be
So
watching. They be watching.
What I
um,
tell you, this
so
boy is smart.
what if Nick said yes to the killing? Would they have done it? I felt. I just the
Yeah.
way Spiro said the question. I just kind of felt
Felt like
like,
it was a
and
test. You probably right. You
like
know
he was
what?
waiting for. And then when Nick answered, he's like, "Yeah, didn't I tell you about this kid?
Yeah.
Like, yep, he could be one of
When
us.
when they were talking, when he was talking to
I think he
Double
wanted
G,
Nick to be one of them. To be
he did.
honest,
When he
Yeah,
was talking
I
to
think
Double
so.
G, Jesse, about the cameras, and Double G was telling him about the cameras, and
yeah, yeah.
Spiros was like, it was
Is it
like
worth
Nico
it?
and that idiot cousin. He's like, I think he uses. He
Mhm.
is like, I'm watching shit. Like I do want to see how you move and how you operate. So that you might that little theory right there might be right. He probably was testing him because you're gonna kill Prop Joe's nephew over Nick. No, probably not.
Right. He
Probably
wants
not.
to
If you the Greeks, probably not.
yeah. No, he wants to see that he's smart because that's the thing. That's what makes the Greeks so effective is that they don't fly off the handle. They don't do any unnecessary killings, even though
Mhm.
it's such an insane thing to say.
It's
They don't.
intentional and it's necessary.
Right, exactly. They're careful about how they do things, and they want someone who thinks things through, which is why Nikki's the smart cousin, and why which makes him so contrast well to Ziggy, is that Ziggy is impulsive and just
Right.
does he just goes off of whatever instinct he has regardless of the logic, whereas Nikki thinks things like 3 steps ahead.
I got two questions for y'all. One is a question. One is a statement. 45 minutes in, we want to say please like, share, subscribe, comment, wiretap truths. We appreciate all the love. Question: y'all are like super researchers and like y'all know actors and previous works and stuff. Have y'all seen the Greek in anything else? Do y'all know who that actor is?
The
I know who
Greek.
the actor is because I IMDb'd him, but I don't think anything he did stuck
Nothing,
out to me.
nothing popped up where you was like, oh, he was in this or nothing like that.
Yeah, I
He
don't.
looks like he should have been in
That's
like
why I'm asking, Jack. His face looks like I feel like I should have seen him in
Bill
something though.
Raymond. He's had some various roles in like Michael Clayton or Lincoln. I'm on his IMDb right now, and he's popped up and stuff like Law and Order. I see, or
Okay.
12 Monkeys, The Crow, all these like pretty good movies. But as
Okay.
like featured
Interesting.
extras, right? Nothing like he was never like he didn't have a major role in
Or
anything like
anything.
some of these
Okay.
other guys. Whereas like
His
Paul Ben,
face. I
yeah,
feel like I should have seen his face somewhere,
right.
like kind of thing.
Whereas
But
Paul Ben Victor, I've seen in a bunch of other TV shows and
yeah,
stuff.
nah, he's in Power. You talking about who
Yeah,
plays Sparrows?
yeah,
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in Power.
yeah.
he's in a bunch of stuff.
Orange is the New Black, True Detective. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like how he respects Nikki, and Nikki's right. He's like, look, if I pop this guy now, somebody will come around. He says violence just begets violence, right?
He's
An eye
smart.
for an eye and all that stuff. And Spiros takes notes of that, so he hooks him up to help them out. And the next time we go, they're in the car and they're going to visit Cheese. And I like the way this scene is like played out because it's all from the perspective of inside the car.
Yeah,
That it doesn't follow them, so you're in the same perspective as Nikki. You don't hear what they're saying, you just hear them talking, and all of a sudden, Sergey and Aton, they pull out, and the other people that he's with, they all pull out fucking Uzis, right? I think those are those guns.
Yeah, or
Been a
Tech
while since,
Nines. I think
yeah,
it's a Tech Nine.
it's been a while since I played GTA, but they all pull them out, and they're like, okay, all right, fuck it.
And hold up. Speaking of GTA, completely unrelated. Will we finish all of the show before GTA 6 comes out? That's
mhm.
Yeah,
a good.
right.
When we finish, we do our whole podcast, every episode recap before that video game comes
Keeps
out.
getting delayed. Oh yeah, the other random thing I was gonna remind you know what that scene with when Bird tried to snap at Omar. Remember? Did you ever see
Mhm.
that video of that guy who tried to attack that judge and like
Yes.
flew out the
Yeah.
judge?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I think I
I
know
don't know why I
exactly what
thought
you're
of
talking
that
about.
guy or the guy who tried to attack Larry Nasser. And anyway, um,
But
but
yeah, Sergey is such a gangster's gangster.
yeah,
Pull up on Cheese. I don't really. Granted, I am essentially like your boss, but
in
I'm
Cheese's
not scared
territory
of yeah,
also,
yeah,
like
like
it could really.
exactly, like in your hood, on your block, and in front of everybody, and we're not. I'm not scared of
No,
nobody out here. Like it's about business, but I will kill you. Like I don't act like I won't kill you. But
yeah,
cheese, we rarely see cheese like back down or be scared. But he was like, oh shit, my fault.
he anybody once they see a gun pointed in their face,
you
they're
know,
like
you got it.
uh
Shit.
yeah, exact. So and even there, they're like, yeah, we talked, and Nikki's like, yeah, I saw how you guys talked. And so Sergey lets him know that he's not going to have to pay the 2,700. He's just going to have to get the money for the car that they burned and give that to them. So
And
he's helping them out, right?
he is, and he says him we don't know the one he calls boss.
The one he
Him
calls
we know.
boss, right?
I like that. I love that.
which
I love
which
that. Yeah.
is later on we go back to we see it. This is the first
You know what
time.
else is crazy too, though? The
What?
fact that I think even season 5 or something, they always refer to Sergey as the Russian. That's super disrespectful considering nowadays what's happening now with the war.
Yeah.
Because he said from day one he's Ukrainian, not Russian.
Oh right, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. With Russia, committing their war crimes, fair, but yeah, it's true. They always or they call him like Boris, and I forgot about that. He's not actually Russian this entire time.
Yeah, he's Ukrainian. Yeah.
But he is pretty badass in certain moments. Like in here, he just like Leland said, he just steps up to cheese like no business. So then they realize, okay, we have to put this matter to bed. So they meet up with Prop Joe later on, who
Mhm.
is revealed to be like um business partners with Sergey.
Listen,
You know,
one of my all-time favorite scenes in the whole show. Not
really.
no
Okay.
questions. No
It's the first
questions
time we're
asked.
in. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the first time we're in Prop Joe's office.
In season one, and maybe Jesse can give me some insight to this.
I think
When
it's the first time.
Omar brings the drugs after the basketball game, I don't know if I don't know what setting they're in, but it don't look like an appliance shop.
No, I
I
think
don't
it's.
know. You
I
think
think.
it's the
Yeah.
office in the appliance shop? Maybe I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the
Yeah.
first time I noticed it. Or he's always doing his tinkering with stuff.
Mhm.
And Sergey goes and they have the big reunion. He's like, "Oh, you lost weight and everything." He actually did look
Yeah,
Well,
about.
he even called Sergey the N word. Like
Yeah,
Sergey, my
there.
nigga. Like they love it. They like family. I
Yeah.
love their interaction in that scene. It's so he's like, man, you're losing weight. He like, man, shit. I love their interaction in that
he
scene.
said, "I feel bad for you, my friend Khadija." Or in the
It
supermarket
also
scene.
shows like in the how serious like Nikki is all the time. You notice that too. He's
I
very
took
just
that. I
like
took that too.
he's very.
But
He
I
doesn't
also
smile. He just like
I like that Sergey said, look, when we get in here, don't say shit
yeah.
until I tell you to.
And
Like
he
kind of
immediately
like
does. Yeah.
and then when Nico says something, he looks at him like,
What
bitch,
did I
did I
say?
tell you not to say nothing? Like kind of
Yeah.
thing. But you're right, Jack. I took that note down too. Nick throughout season 2 is just handling business. And like it is, I'm just getting shit done
Yeah.
how I gotta do it, and I'm not scared in any room that I'm in. I'm never fearful of no matter who I'm in front of. Like I took that note down for this episode because I
No, he
know
Don't
doesn't
be
cower to anyone, which makes him good.
yeah.
Yeah.
don't be fooled by. You know what's funny too, though, Leland? Don't let Nick fool you, cause in the car he's super scared
Oh yeah, he tense. Yeah,
when
no,
Sergey.
he ducking and shit for sure.
So when he's in front of Proper Joe with the back,
Yeah.
now he's a little
Got
more
his chest out.
big
Yeah, no,
now.
you
Like
said that. You said that.
Camaro,
Because
Camaro's not that cheap, and I'm like, yeah, because I'm watching that scene. You're like, damn, yeah, Nicky's the man, bro. He steps up to Joe,
but you're
but he
right
steps
though.
up to Joe with people around him.
Yeah.
You're
Because
right
And
though.
Joe's also not like physically intimidating in a way that like
Right.
you know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean.
facts though. But no, he was ducking and looking scared
because
when
he
they
was nowhere
he,
near those guns in the car, but he was like,
Oh
right.
yeah, he was like,
You
what
know
the
what though?
fuck?
The
Yeah.
reason I say that, Jesse, is because he did step the cheese initially about Ziggy. When it was
yeah,
just
yeah,
him.
yeah.
He had Buddy from the Union, but they ain't had no guns or nothing on them. But
Well, Nick is smart, right? He knows
yeah,
his surroundings. He's not going to get himself killed. But I'm just
yeah,
Mm.
saying, like, he's not Mr. Tough Guy. That's all I'm
yeah.
saying.
He ain't Omar.
Yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, though,
Yeah.
I like the way he handles himself in this whole
Oh yeah.
change. It
Yeah.
was my cousins. It wasn't
Just
all that.
look at that.
And that little smart ass answer too, when Joe's like, "Let me get this straight. You come in here asking me for money." And he's like, "Guess to keep the Camaro." Like that little smart
Yeah.
ass Nick answer. Like,
So how close are y'all to this motherfucker?
And even
Is what Joe
Sergey's
said.
like, "It's up to you," right? Sergey's
It's
like,
got to
"Up to
be
you."
what it is,
But I
Well,
think
And
I think that shrug was kind of like, "Yo, we're pretty close." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like, come on, bro. You know you're gonna do it if I'm here.
yeah.
You
He's
know
like,
if
just
we're
give the
here,
guy
you
a
know you're
break.
gonna do it.
I think it's more like, yeah, just give the guy a break. He's like, And it is true what he says. Like, you get to keep the Camaro. Where he's basically saying like, I won't, like, you know what? He's good at doing business because he's acting like he has power when he doesn't, which is like, it's the
Facts.
illusion that causes other people to respect that. You know what I mean?
Yep,
Well,
when they did the camera too, Jack. When they did the camera exchange and
Hmm.
they were talking the money, it was Nick who said 20,000. And
Right.
then Double G was like, "Because I like you,"
Hmm.
kind of thing. So you're right. He don't have leverage, but he operates as if he has leverage. Jesse, what were you about to say?
no, I like how Prop Joe like lets him know too. Like, yo, don't get it twisted. This is not for you. Like, if it wasn't for
You
Sergey,
be lunch food, lunch
yeah,
meat, if not for Sergey right here.
Right.
And that's one of the few continuation holes in the wire, Jack. When he's counting out that money to Nico, that there's no way that's 2,300 or 3,200, whatever the money was. It's not even $1,000. He count like $8 bills,
Mm.
and there's no way that's even $1,000 unless he got $200 bills that I've never seen before, maybe kind of thing. But there's no way that was 2,300 or 3,200. But when he gives the money to Ziggy, the stack is bigger. It
Ah.
looks kind of like it could be 2,300. But when Prop Joe counts the money out, it's not even nowhere near $2,300 worth of
well, to be
dollar
fair to
bills.
our friend Bob Spore, he did say that money's a little tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, money is and it's like that kind of shit. Like, that goes over my head when I watch. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm just like, all right, it's money. Who cares?
I
Right.
just
You know,
It's
like,
funny too because we talked about that too, and I know it's a completely other scene, but I showed Leland the teabag scene, and he was like, "Oh my god, I would have never noticed if
oh
it
yeah,
wasn't
the
for you."
continuity, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, it's
Because
like,
for money
yeah,
too, it's like for how the dialogue goes, for him to sit and if it's 2,300, if he had counted out $1,300 bills and the continue, it'd have been like a little gap in the dialogue to sit and count out 1, 2,
yeah,
3,
yeah,
4,
yeah. You
5,
wouldn't be able
6,
to
7,
do
8,
that as
9, 10,
like a
11, 12, 13. Like the dialogue just fit better with few dollar bills, boom, take the money. Like
right,
that little
yeah.
scene just made sense. So I get it, but it's
exactly.
blaring if you watch that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's like the thing, yeah, with money is like, there's never going to be like an exact thing because it doesn't look cinematic. It reminds me of that like gag in Dodgeball when he's giving the guy like a suitcase full of like $1 million, and you think like the whole briefcase is going to be filled with all this money, and it's just like one stack of dollar bills, and it's like pointing out like it never is exactly as much as it looks like. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Uh, but yeah, no. So like, so Sergey, I'm sorry, Prop Joe agreed. All right, look, I'll cover the end of the burnt car, and I'm gonna take it out of Cheese's wallet, and you should probably stay away from Cheese. So they say what you want about the Greeks, but they really did come through for the Spakas here by helping them out.
For
Um,
sure.
Later on, though, we see like Ziggy at the bar, just looking miserable, worried about his life, and contrasting that with like Frank talking to the other dock boys, reminiscing about like like about old memories, or that guy that had like that speech impediment,
Yeah.
and he's like, I got hit with a shackle. They're all like joking around, and Ziggy's just worried. And you get that sense of like distance. Like Ziggy doesn't consider himself. They don't consider Ziggy one of them. You know what I mean?
He
And
on
you
the
feel,
opposite side of the bar, Jack.
yeah, he's all like alone, miserable, and so like Nikki comes in and is like, I got this money for you, you know, and
What's the first thing he do?
he lights the dollar bill, he lights 100 on fire because he's pissed off and moody that he didn't work out as a drug dealer, and yeah, he's what it is, he's like lashing out because he's just angry, and he doesn't really deserve to be angry though, because like his dad didn't really screw him over here. He could have
No.
given him more hours, Really, what I thought about this, what Ziggy should have done is he should have just done what Johnny 50 did, been like a checker, because Ziggy is like smart,
He
and
the computers.
he knows computers. Like his dad, Frank, even mentions, he's like, maybe your mom was right. We should have sent you to community college like your brother. you know, and like that's such
A
like a
nice scene, a nice father and
It
son scene here.
you
it really is, yeah.
Jesse, damn it. I took down that too. It's one of the only scenes other than when Ziggy gets arrested where Frank and Ziggy have like a father to son, real
Yeah.
true moment, reflect type moment. Like I
Right.
took down that note too. It's one of the only other
Is
than when
that
Ziggy
my
gets arrested.
is that
That's
my
pretty
son
much it.
burning $100 bills in front of a bunch of working stiffs? And
You
then
know,
Yeah.
like he's such a leader of men, y'all. Like Frank
Like,
was
yeah.
he wanted the docs to be he did all of that so them people could work, bro. Like it's
Ziggy kind of says, I remember Uncle, and he's like, I remember. So I think trying to say you gave me a good childhood, pops. Don't worry
Yeah.
yeah,
about
It's like don't worry, like he's like
it's not your fault.
yeah, and also like even though that's such a tender scene, you know,
It
and
is.
really like it makes you think of like talking to your own it makes you want to like call your own dad and just be like,
it.
you know what I mean? Like, hey, and everything, but like they're walking along and I took it of like, look, yeah, all this stuff that you've given me and it's like no matter what, no matter all the bullshit that goes on with work and money is like it just destroys relationships and lives, but no matter what, we're like a family and I love you.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
love that scene. And the fact that both of y'all bring that up about just parents and dads and stuff. Like this is something since I've had my daughter that my dad and I have done. Like he might call me on a Saturday and might be like, "Where you at? What you got? What you
Yeah.
doing today?" And I might be like, "Hey, I'm in the city. I'm here." And he'll be like, "All right, well, I'll be there soon." And we'll meet somewhere random and just talk. We'll just sit outside our car and talk. It could be a parking lot of a Publix somewhere, like, and we'll just sit and talk and meet. Like, and it's just something. The fact that both of y'all said that about that scene, and I took
Yeah.
the note down too. It's true. Like if you can talk to your parents and have that relationship with your kids and stuff like that still, like we're in our older ages, like you have to enjoy those moments, either as a parent or as a child, enjoy those times with your parents,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and
Yeah.
Jesse, you got
Call
an
your
older son than all of us too, and we know how you feel about your son, kind of thing, like, so it's true. A father son moments like that it's real. It's a real thing for sure.
Yeah.
yeah. I have a son too, actually.
Really, Jack, how old is he?
No,
Um
me. He
no.
sends me every episode.
I don't know where I was going with that actually.
He'd be like, Jesse, you my son. I'm like,
As
all right.
yeah, as far as I know, I might. No, I don't. But yeah, it's you know what it is. It's like Frank's even like tearing up because he feels it's so
He feels
relatable
it.
that feeling of guilt as a parent of like I should have done more for you or I
He
should have
feels it. He
helped,
feels
you
it.
know. Yeah, and the acting like we always talk about Chris Bauer's acting, but it's really is great how he's really getting emotional here as Ziggy's reminiscing and he's thinking like, man, I should have done more
I
or
should have
like
done
helped
more
you
for
out
my
more.
kid. And like Ziggy said, look, it's relaxed. Like it's cool, Pop.
Yeah,
Don't sweat it. Like
no
it's
matter what, you
fine,
know.
And an hour and 2 minutes in, we want to say please like, share, subscribe, comment, Wiretap Truth. We appreciate the love, support, all the fans, all the new subscribers. Please continue to send your feedback and give us the love. We appreciate it all.
And even like the way the film is shot too, it's all like from like these low angles and like the lighting of it really get that sense of like that, you know, out on the piers sense, all the sound of the waves coming in, you know, it really gives you like time and feel. Frank Sabaka. So, you know, Frank feels like a little cathartic having that moment with his son, and things seem to be going well for him. We had that meeting earlier on. We see like what it's like to be part of the union meeting, and he's telling them that they're trying to build have this grand pier
Yeah.
reopening in the spring, which will get them more jobs, but they're fighting with some asshole
Developer, I think.
developers who's trying to build like more like apartments or condominiums there,
Condominiums, I think.
and you know he's basically saying like no, we're gonna fight it and we're call your legislators, call everybody you know to like help us out. He mentions that we got money for it, but you know Ott's like, oh yeah, where did you get the money?
He's
And
questioning it.
he's
But
you know,
Frank, that's the scene where I said Frank was a leader of men. When I took
yeah,
down that note, I was talking about that scene right there because it's just seeing him control the room, and it's
right,
like, damn, he's literally responsible for making sure
all these
everybody
people.
in this room has work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just he was into some wrong shit, obviously, but
Hmm.
his reasoning behind it was just like, man, I just want my union to eat and work. I'm just trying to make sure that they have work for their families. Like, so
Yeah,
it's commendable. And
and
we,
it,
we
and this
mentioned that too, Jack, that you said our first episode that you thought Frank Sabaka might be your favorite character or top 3 characters. On our first episode of our podcast, you mentioned that before we even got
yeah.
to season 2.
Well, it's really shows you the show shows you the power of unions. How it's like a brotherhood of people that are just trying to
Mm-hmm.
make themselves and happen and they need it to survive against like these greedy businessmen
Yep.
and like politicians that are in the pocket of all these billionaire lobbyists. But I'll get off my soapbox and
No,
continue.
no, I'm
But
actually going to touch on what you're
but
talking
it's
about.
true. No,
And
and it's
unions.
like,
It's true.
and yeah, I'm kidding around, but like this show is so much to do with like all the issues that are happening, and it's
Yep.
like, so viewers should expect us to dive into a lot of issues that have to deal with that, especially like with with here specifically about the importance of unions, right?
Unions. No, and that's
Um,
that's what I'm about to jump off of, Jack. And there's a scene, and we're gonna as we transition into breaking down We Own the City and stuff. There's a scene in the third episode where they are. It's like right after the Freddie Gray riots and murders and stuff, and the
mhm,
cops are essentially like scared to work. They're like, if we can arrest somebody that had a knife and we can still get charged for attempted murder, whatever the charge was, why would we want to work as officers if that's the type of energy that's going on in Baltimore? And the lawyer, she's talking to the union, like the police union president, who's actually played by Herc in We Own
mhm,
This City. He only has that one scene, but he's the union president in We Own the
okay.
City. And
Dominant Bombardozzi.
yeah, and he's pretty much like he's defending the cops. He's like, if we can't arrest somebody that had a knife, and had drugs on them, y'all are telling us that we can't even do our jobs. Why would our fellow officers want to really get out here and do their jobs to the best of their ability when they could get charged for false arrest, even when
Hmm.
the person is a criminal?
Hmm.
So I'm just speaking to about the unions. He's the union president, and the ladies asking him like, have Baltimore cops like done illegal stuff to get arrested? And he's pretty much like, look, we're a union and we're here to protect our police officers. He don't even
Right.
answer a question, but he's the union president, and I'm standing on the principles for my union.
Hmm. Well, yeah, and different unions have different weights, right? And
Right.
especially, and that ties into the business of mayor, right? Because we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about last week about how and we find out from we understand from season 5 of how like even when you're somebody who has like a lot of idealism and wants to change things, the system is built against change. That's the
Yeah.
ultimate message of the show that David Simon said basically is like nothing ever really changes because the rules are broken. So with Frank Sabaka tying it back to our episode, right? He gets this money that's not from legal ways, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, at the end of the day, all money is illegal. It's like somebody, Clay Davis even said, he's like, dude, it's Baltimore. All the money at some point, if you trace it far back enough, has gone through some sort of dirty, like illegal source because
Yeah.
that's how we survive, right? Especially when things are underfunded. I mean, that's how cities used to survive. They would get money from like the mobs to various businesses to continue being funded, you
Yeah.
know, and in certain cities in like Mexico, it's the cartels that control. Here, it's the drug trade that funds a lot of like the legitimate sources of income or the stuff that the city needs, right? Anyway, let's move on to because we talked about the Sabaka case for the sake of levity. We're going to talk about, like you said, Kima is has to go investigate the strip club, which she's really bummed about, and so she's bringing that up to her wife, and it's funny. It's like a classic like sitcom scene of like you're gonna go talk to these strippers, except it's a lesbian couple, so it kind of subverts that whole trope, in a way.
Yeah.
Um,
Cheryl's
Carol's
pissed. She's
pissed, right?
pissed.
Because she's like, she kind of thought Kima was done with being a cop and was just going to be like working in an
House cat.
office, and they were gonna just like have a stable, safe life. They have a
Mm-hmm.
nice apartment. She's they're gonna have a child. Cheryl's trying to think about the future, but Kima she loves being a cop. She's natural police, right?
I love this shit, man.
And
Like,
she's like, well, I'm gonna go, and then Cheryl's like, all right, I'm coming with you.
I might see something I like, which is
Uh,
that's crazy. That's
oh
a
yeah.
crazy like.
And then they bring in, they go with Presbo later to the strip club, and Presbo cannot be more awkward there.
Question for y'all: why is Presbo so nervous? Why is he? What is the issue with him in the strip club? Because he with Kima and Cheryl. Like, what's
You
the
know what? It
problem?
fits to his character, though. I was thinking about because he's kind of a dork. Like, you know what I mean? You get the sense he's kind of a nerd, like type character.
You know what, Jack? The night when he killed that cop and he goes out with McNulty and they go get the Chinese food in season 3, and his fortune cookie says, "A friend makes himself known," and then McNulty is like, "Well, if it said herself, then you have a fortune." And Prez is like, "Man, I'm married with lawn furniture, bro."
Yeah,
He's like,
this is the
yeah,
life that I want. Yeah.
yeah, I'm a homebody with lawn furniture,
Oh yeah.
man. So I don't know. His face he just looked disgusted though. Like it was like,
He fit.
oh,
He
can't
fits
see
that
no
kind of.
boobies. I see
Yeah.
boobies. Like.
If I'm not mistaken, I think David Simon had spoken on this that Ed, Prez being like the nice guy was more Ed Burns of
Yeah.
he was a stay at home guy. David Simon was more McNulty stay
Damn,
That
out.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
because Prez is supposed to be loosely based off of Ed Burns,
Right.
so I can see that. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Damn.
David Simon's just low key humble bragging about getting laid all the time. It's like, yeah, I was more McNulty for sure. That was me. Who I was. The other Ed stayed home. I was out
I was
constantly.
outside with it.
You know. Yeah, no. So but also they found out where to go because Kima visits
Charlene.
Shardine, who's doing great with Lester. She's back in she's nursing school.
Yeah, nursing school or med school?
I think
Nursing
it's
school.
I think it's nursing
I
school.
think it's nursing too. Yeah.
Um, and she's living with Lester. She's living large now. You know.
Daddy
Lester the
issues.
legend. Go ahead and say it, Jesse.
Daddy issues. Daddy
Yeah.
issues. He's always telling me I could do better, making me go back to school.
Yeah. They get she calls him daddy quite a bit probably when they get but yeah, so she he that's a good point. Well, she even thinks that because it's like Kima said, like, oh, he has a way of making you feel like you could do more. Like Kima looks at him like a father figure.
Nah, for sure.
And
Some of their interactions are top tier.
Mhm.
Even from season 1, when she asked him about the interrogation stuff with Omar, that
Right.
little scene, and he's telling her, like, look at Charlene, she looks like a citizen. Like, that's phenomenal acting.
Yeah.
Then in season 4, when she's trying to figure out what's going on with the potential witness, and he tells her like about interrogation, and he's like, just speak to him and see what he says. He talks, you get to listen. They
Mhm.
have some good dialogue scenes for sure.
Well, for sure, absolutely. And so Kima, knowing that Shardine is doing well, is like, well, can you help us out here? Do you know anyone that might know
About these girls.
these women? And she points her to one of her friends. And when they go to a strip club, that the stripper is talking to them, or exotic dance or whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
The
Yeah,
same
and
thing,
the
you
same
know.
thing, right? I don't know.
Stripper
Anyway,
is to exotic
yeah,
dancer
she's a
as
stripper. Fuck
dad
it.
is to father. It's the
Yeah,
same. It's the
we're
same
millennials, okay? We say stripper. It's a word. It's fine,
thing.
I'm not gonna get canceled here.
No, not at all.
The fucking stripper talks to them, and you see how much like everyone likes Shardine, right? Because
For
she's
sure.
such like a nice, wholesome woman. So like,
For sure.
who couldn't dislike her, right?
Right. For
So
sure.
the stripper is very kind and offers up all this information about these women, how they come in there, that they don't really know anyone, that people want to pay more for them because they're from another country, so they're more rare, and how they come in with these Johns that basically control every aspect of their lives.
Phenomenal dialogue too, Jack, from the stripper. And I
Hmm.
know I know Jesse mentioned about possibly reaching out to people who had maybe a scene or one line and stuff like that. Her little scene in this episode was so impactful. It's the only scene she has in the show, but
Mhm.
it was a great little moment. Her little acting in that little scene, like it was,
Yeah, she
it
did
was
do
great.
good.
It was perfect.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And she, yeah, well, she, I like the way she tells it too, because she's very matter of fact. You could tell she's preparing to go on stage. She's like doing her nails and everything,
Yep.
and at the same time telling them like, hey, so these Johns would take him to the hotels, and like if they got too close to any of the customers, they would disappear them. Basically saying like these Johns made it so like these women couldn't escape or like
Yep.
nobody could help them.
She kind of led them on the path to,
Yeah.
hey, look, it's a lady somewhere that I've seen, which is, I can't remember the lady's name, the madam. I can't remember her exact
Right.
name, but the madam who was
That's
controlling these girls, she let them know, like, oh no, this is a real operation. I seen them, they barely could go use the bathroom. I seen somebody get hit with a stun gun for going to get something to eat. Like,
Mhm.
if you can find this madam, they're into some shit. Pretty much, she pointed them in the complete right direction. Like,
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
absolutely. And she really helped them out and gave them an address for like a hotel to go
Yep.
to.
Yep.
Um, and so yeah, she was very helpful with that aspect. Meanwhile, on the Sabatka sands, this is like a previously on the they're talking about like how in doing investigation into the missing containers. So Beatty has the idea of looking at their computer, and they have a pretty like methodical system, right? It's very the way it's designed makes a lot of sense, right? It shows these containers going off the track into like these animated trucks that deliver them to a right spot. But if it's not there, the entire thing doesn't enter.
Disappears.
It's not entered, it's just disappeared. It's showing up as a disappeared container. But if they find it again, it gets re-entered. But sometimes they're just disappeared. And so they're saying like, well, we should go through them. And Beatty says they're like, how many of them? And she's like hundreds. And they just know like, oh fuck, it's more of just sitting around. So this is back similar to like all the looking through all like the phone calls and like going through all these pages and constantly waiting on rooftops for hours. Now
Yep.
they're looking at a computer screen for hours on end.
They're looking for a pattern, and
Yeah.
and it's what Prez said to Valchek about like what they weren't doing when they first started the case.
Right.
Like, we ain't doing. We're not really looking for anything to catch who you want us to catch. We don't have
Yeah.
a plan about. We're not doing shit about shit. Pretty much.
They
Like,
didn't have a plan for a plan. They just had
right.
nothing. Here they're actually going about it in a way that makes sense. They're looking for hours on end to find
Pattern.
hundreds of like items, right? To see which went missing, right? Which containers went missing.
Now in 2025, there's a ton of software, different software where you could just, click a button and say, hey, the containers that disappeared, give me all of those. Like, I don't
Okay.
know. I'm sure there's a software that, where
Yeah.
they wouldn't have had to sit through hundreds, thousands of containers
I mean,
almost.
let me tell you, man, I hope so. Because about like 5 years ago, I used to do this job. I worked for data entry. If
Mm-hmm.
anyone's ever done data entry, I'm sorry. Because you know how much it's the most boring shit. And so, like, I was responsible for, I had to look through. It was kind of, in a way, it was, not a thing, but it's kind of similar. All these items that don't get accounted for
Mm-hmm.
in this wholesale, like, retailer. And I would have to go through, like, hundreds of things every day. And, enter the specific ones that were missing, and that
Yeah,
shit was like the most
it's
brutal.
tedious.
And so it's like I'm watching this and I'm like, oh fuck, dude. It's just
Give you
like giving me
flashbacks.
flashback, right? And even the stuff that they're doing, where like you see like Bunk throwing a fucking tennis ball against the wall. They're just taking to. It's just like it's anyone that's had to work a job like that knows that it's just so fucking tedious. And they
Yeah,
keep going through. Eventually, Bunk's like, "Fuck it, I'm going out for a drink,"
yeah.
and I'm done. He's like, "Tomorrow's another day, right?" But then Beatty is the hard-working one, and her
She
and
locked in.
Freeman, yeah, dude, they discover that here's all the cases that were missing, and they were all entered. They were all being worked on by
Horse
Horseface.
face.
So now they have a name and they have a pattern. And fucking home run BD Russell, right?
I
That
don't know why they have Horseface there. He didn't do nothing.
You don't know. He
it's
don't know
true, right?
nothing.
He don't know nothing.
Fucking Nikki. And then so they go to Daniels with this information, and Bunk and Freeman also tell him that like the cases are kind of linked here, and saying that we should clone their computer to find like to look at it in real time, right? And Bunk and Freeman try to like say like, hey, we should combine the cases, but
Daniel's
Freeman,
Daniel's like
no,
shit.
he's looking at the logistics of like, look, I'm trying to run my own special detail,
What?
and it looks bad if I come home with all these Jane Does rather.
We're gonna start my special detail -14. You know,
Yeah,
no, we're not doing that.
no,
You know,
yeah. And they're so it's like he's not necessarily doing it to like because he wants to get a lieutenant. He wants to like build something
right,
real there, and he's
right,
just looking at like this is just a loser all around.
right. And
Even
Bunk looks crazy too. Drunk, about to throw up in front of Daniels in the trash can. People love that scene too. Like I love that
yeah,
scene.
oh yeah, that's so
He got the sweat coming down his face. He's struggling bad, and Daniel's looking like
Jesus.
you can't just keep it together right
They
now.
went out to one of their late night benders with Jimmy until 3 in the morning.
I
Jimmy
love a
tells
Bunk.
Bunk he's gonna hang it all up, and he's gonna try again. Bunk, yeah, I like that look because Daniel's just disgusted with him. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Bunk plays the next day drunk pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, nah, it's essential. It's essential to his
Mhm.
character. Is Bunk the funniest character in The Wire?
He's up there for sure.
Some people say
He-
Landsman.
I mean,
Oh, Landsman, yeah.
Some people say Landsman.
Landsman is pretty hilarious. I like
I,
Rawls is always makes me laugh because
I
he's such
think
an
it's Bunk though.
asshole.
He the classic lines that he has and them classic moments. The
Hmm.
plural of pussy is pussy. Shit like
Yeah.
that. Like it's just he got some of them unbeatable Wire moments. Just,
Hmm.
Nikki has some good one-liners.
he
Oh
does.
yeah, yeah.
It's just Bunk got 5 seasons. That's
Yeah,
where it's like
I'll stick my tongue up their ass. Yeah,
yeah.
Nikki's pretty fun. He at the end of the last scene with Nikki, they're selling off the chemicals, and then Spiros is like, "Well, why don't I sell you? Why don't, I could give you this all in money, or I can give you this in heroin." And they look to Johnny 50, who's out, and I'm looking. This is one of the moments I'm like, dude, just take the money. Like, don't
I took
listen
that
to
note too,
Ziggy.
bro.
Don't listen to Ziggy. Fucking take the money. Walk away. What are you doing? You're not a drug dealer.
I actually like Nikki's answer here, half and half.
Yeah, no,
Try to
I
play
love
it
the
out,
answer for the show,
you know,
but like
for the
from
show.
the
Yeah, yeah.
money perspective of
Well,
it.
I'm just thinking of like what I would have done in that perspective, I guess, of like, you
So
know what I
Jack,
mean?
and maybe because I didn't take the notes down. Do you know what the money would have been if he just took the money and not do half and half? What would the number in
I think it
cash
was like 30
have been?
30,000 or something like that. Half in cash, half in heroin,
Or
like
15 and
30.
15, something
Or
like
like
that.
30 in cash, 30 in heroin, something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, they do, I guess they tried. Dicky's like, I'll do both, whatever, best of both worlds. But
Well,
it's
I'll
just like,
take half and see if I could flip the other half. If it
No,
doesn't
right,
work
right. I
out,
get
I
it.
still got
I
that.
get the logic, and I mean, Nikki was, if the cops weren't on his
No,
uncle,
you're right. It's right for the show. And
no,
yeah.
yeah, but
an
it,
actual person, just don't
No,
get
give me
yourself
here.
any deeper.
Let me get 30,000 instead of getting this raw heroin and having to go to the corner and figure out how I'm gonna move.
right.
Yeah, no, let me get 30, 40,000. I'll
See,
take that.
oh, so
Yeah.
this actually proves my theory even further that Nikki was just getting groomed to for a bigger spot.
He's getting
And
molested.
well,
He stepped up.
criminally groomed.
Yeah,
Not
no, this him. This is
even though
him.
I do have a theory that Spiros is gay, which you guys kind of laughed at.
I mean, no, but when I looked at that too, so some people think that too.
I
They
didn't
because
Yeah,
they
know
say
that.
the scene where he says, well, I would have
I
had a
have to
wife.
have. Yeah,
I always
I
took it
never heard that.
as well. That just means I would have been married, not necessarily that I don't like women. I
Well, yeah,
never,
no,
I
I wrote
never,
that on
it
the
never
Facebook
clicked in my
post,
head to even think about like, oh,
I wrote
he
that in
might
the
be.
wire. All the pieces matter. I was like, I always thought Spiros. Not in. I said always thought because I just thought it this time. I was like, I thought Spiros was gay, and he was. And then people kind of laughed at the comment, and I was like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, some people think that, but I mean, it don't matter.
Well,
It's a story.
when we get to write our season 2, who Alonzo Wilson is going to hook us up with, we could
We'll
ask him.
ask. Yeah, we'll have to ask about that theory. Yeah, but yeah, that's some interesting stuff right there,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Nikki kind of showed. You feel Nikki basically insults Ziggy by saying like, "Go home and watch cartoons and let the adults handle business," or essentially like that.
Jack,
And
what did he say to
Ziggy's
him? You
pouting.
walking home or what?
Yeah, he's
Get
walking
your dumb
home.
ass in the car.
I wonder if that was an improvised line. Like, I wonder if like Ziggy was supposed to get in the car, and then Nick, like the act, he just stayed in character saying that because that was such like a brilliant little like.
It was perfect. Like,
Right.
man, you fucking walking home or what, man?
Yeah.
Get your goofy ass in the
And
car.
you know the thing, it's like it's so frustrating watching Ziggy because it's just like, yeah, listen to your cousin. You're not a drug dealer. You already got your ass kicked. You lost
Exactly.
money. You almost got killed. Just fucking you. It's such a frustrating character because you want him to succeed, but he just has the
That's the right
worst
word. Like
instincts.
I told y'all, I go back and forth every time I watch season 2. Like, okay, do I feel sorry for Ziggy or do I absolutely hate Ziggy? Like
The
it's
thing
like
is,
it's one of those. Like
he's
I'm
his
always
own worst
torn.
enemy, which is like unfortunate because he causes himself all of these issues. That's the thing. If he just stayed the tracks and like worked on the docks or like been like, hey, maybe I should work with Johnny 50 in the fucking towers, like he could have avoided all this shit. He should have taken like when he got beat up by Cheese, he should have taken that
As a
as
sign.
like this is my rock bottom. This is a sign that this is not a sign of like, oh no, I need to do better. Like the
Y'all know
fuck
what?
is wrong
And
with
I think I
you?
told y'all this last week with Ziggy. If not, because Nick took care of all of his problems in season 2. Like he was risking his life. He was going out. Ziggy don't got no fucking kids.
Right.
Like Ziggy. Like, Nick went to Cheese's block where they just torched the fucking car, and he's greeted with somebody letting him know like, hey, look, I got the gun on me. If y'all want beef, he is in dangerous enemies territory behind Ziggy.
Hmm.
And so for Ziggy, when Nick gives him that money, Jack, for Ziggy to throw that money out of the truck when Nick has done nothing but come through and save him, I think it's that scene right there that
Yeah.
makes me like, nah, Ziggy was on bullshit. Like, even if you feel sorry for him the whole season,
Hmm.
Nick went through so much to save you from 3, 4 situations. And even when he thought the girl got him pregnant, it's Nick that's calling the lawyer trying to figure this shit out for him. So, like, for you to just pretty much say fuck you and throw the money out of the truck when Nick is just really trying to put money in your pocket and keep you away from shit because clearly you don't know what you're doing. Like, I think that scene is what makes me like, man, nah, I can't feel sorry for Ziggy.
Oh,
He's an
yeah.
idiot. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
It's that scene right there.
Well, definitely, we'll be sure to talk about Ziggy more in the subsequent episodes, but we still have to talk about what I've left. I purposely did all of the other storylines because I wanted to save this for the end, because talked about this is the main storyline of this episode is of course D'Angelo's demise, the most significant death of the show up until this point. He's one of the main characters. He's the
Yeah.
first actor who had a title credit to be killed off at this point.
Damn.
Lawrence Gilliard Jr., one of the main characters of the show.
For
Like
sure.
when you're watching this for the first time, this is shocking because you don't think they're gonna. It's like you don't. It's like when it's like in Game of Thrones when they kill off Ned Stark. You're like, wait a second, he's the main guy. What the fuck? You
Mhm.
can't do that.
What
Even
season
though
was he dead in, Jack? In
what
Game of
Ned?
Thrones?
Oh yeah, that was at the end of season 1, right? But
Oh shit. Okay.
the first season he's the main character, and they're like, wait, they
And they
killed the
killed
main
him off.
character. But Ziggy D'Angelo is one of the main characters here,
Yep.
and even though every time, but it's brilliant because every time you rewatch it, it makes sense that it happened because it's so inevitable. All the signs are leading to it.
Exactly. Especially this episode too. Like
Right.
it's from when he's talking about the books, and this was the scene that we talked about in the beginning.
Yeah.
When
Let's
he's
dive into
talking
that.
about those books, and he says he's talking about was it the Gatsby? Is that the book that he's reading?
Yeah, The Great Gatsby.
Great Gatsby, right? and he's like, he never wanted to get real with the story, and it caught up to him.
Right.
He's literally talking about himself. Like,
Yeah.
you would never. Your mother is. We still don't know her exact title, but she's knee deep into the game. She taught the suppliers. She deal with money laundering. We don't know all of the crimes and stuff that she does, but she's an integral part of their organization. Your uncle is the king of the city. In what world did you think you would be able to not be in the game?
Right. Well,
You-
yeah, it's sad because it's like, I mean, it's interesting that they chose The Great Gatsby, right? In the story, Gatsby moves to this town on Long Island because he wants to escape his own past, and he's constantly in pursuit of that dream. Even when he has all that money and everything, he's still unhappy because of the past, right? That he's never able to move past. He's never able to move past this one woman that he hasn't been gotten over. Kind of almost like Chardine seemed like that one person that D'Angelo has something for. And D'Angelo is saying, he's like, there is no chance for a better second half, And it's interesting how that happens at a book, like a class, one of those classes that they have at prison for young people to discuss literature and everything.
Mhm.
And everyone's kind of lighthearted. They're all joking around, but he's like ultra serious, and
He is.
his worldview is so bleak, right? He doesn't think that he thinks like, this is it for me, that like I'm always going to be involved in this. That's why he wants the library job, because it allows him to disappear like that.
You know what, Jack? In a scene that we didn't touch on, I took the note down. I think it's when I was dealing with the stuff in my office. When he flushes the cocaine down the toilet, he
Yeah.
takes it off the toilet and flushes it. That is him saying, like,
I'm done.
you know what? I'm about to go through these 20 years completely sober. I'm off the drugs, but I'm willing to take, because he's distancing himself from his family, from Avon, from Donette, from Stringer, and kind of sort of from his mom in a way. He don't really say fuck you, mom, get out my face, but he's kind of distancing himself from the family. But it's him essentially acknowledging, like, all right, I'm about to do 20 years and I'm gonna be sober, but this is my situation and I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna be under my uncle anymore. I'm not gonna be in the game anymore. I'm fine with it, So that
that's
I thought about that
there's
when that happened.
So there's a right. So this is D'Angelo's Kima Greg's episode, on the episode that she got shot. That I mean, Kima lives, but it's all the foreshadowing of he's going to live a new life, right? Like, no more drugs.
Yep.
He's going to worry. His baby boy is going to be in his life, because he even puts the picture of his son up, right? Yep. So that he's going to take care of the baby boy. Donette could leave him alone, even when Avon passes by him and he's like, D, and he's like, what? Like, that just shows he's not scared of his uncle no more.
Yeah, he looks him straight in the eyes too.
Right,
Yeah.
And then Avon can't even say nothing. Like, he's like, what? I got nothing to say. You got nothing to say to me, kind of. And the speech to his mom, another great monologue.
Phenomenal, bro.
You're just gonna, Mom, you gave me this. I'm gonna live in it. Meaning, I'm gonna do the 20. And she really saw that too. She said, she said he's going. That's why when she confronts Avon in season 3, she's like, I know he was ready to do the 20. Like, I looked him in his eyes. She said, did you see that?
Avon would have never agreed to kill his nephew.
Nah, Avon wouldn't have killed him.
He would never agree. He was fine with being like, all right, it is what it is. Our relationship is broken.
Right.
It is what it is. He would have never okayed Stringer to do that, even though he did say to Weebay, I've been fair. Or he said to Stringer, I've been fair to him.
Avon lets people. Avon lets people live. I mean, he let leave rather. He let Cuddy leave. He doesn't have an issue with people. He doesn't have an issue with people leaving the game. And to him, Avon. D'Angelo is his nephew. He's not gonna fuck. He's his sister's child. He would never let somebody harm him.
I'm not about to kill him.
Stringer knows that, which is why he has to go to that guy through DC, and that guy picks up on it. I like that meeting that Stringer has with this guy.
I do too.
When you're watching this, obviously you have no idea what they're discussing, but the guy picks up on it right away. He's like, "Well, if you have to go through my people and your people don't know,
you're serious, huh?
Yeah, this is mysterious."
Fuck up.
Yeah, that's kind of what Stringer says.
It's serious.
He's like, "Mind your own fucking business," essentially. And And yeah, you know what that it, like when he it's so emotional when he says goodbye to his mom because it's like it's so the amount of like for what that takes to be to say that to your own mother and it not saying that he's wrong for it's just like it's got to be so fucking difficult and you get the sense of like they really are saying goodbye to each other here.
Because you know what, Jen, two things I'm gonna touch on from that too. Because he says tell Donette to leave me alone too. So I know Jesse, you just said that he put the picture up of his baby boy. So does that mean, I guess, Donette don't come up here, but maybe my mom will come up here and bring me my son so I can see? Like, who else is gonna be bringing you your son to see you in jail if it's not Donette? I guess his mom. I guess.
Mhm.
So that was, I don't know. That was just a question there. And then Buddy, who's looking at him, who's eventually kills him, obviously, you can tell, like, all right, he up to some shit. What,
Yeah.
what, who is this person we never seen?
Yeah.
What's going on? He looked crazy already. Like, if you just look at him, he looked kind of crazy.
the
And
first time
then,
i
go ahead. What you gonna say?
the first time I watched this, I didn't even connect that that was related to D'Angelo's death. I thought that was like they were talking about like drugs that they were trying to find like another connect because I know that they were looking for someone, so I thought I was going through DC or whatever. I
Yeah,
didn't. It wasn't until the second time I watched it, I was like, oh no, they're setting the guy up
to die.
to.
And one thing I wish they would have shown was between, like, when Stringer was, when he had D'Angelo's son, he was essentially telling him, like, hey, yo, your father is bucking us.
Mhm.
I wish there could have been one more scene in between that moment and then Stringer actually deciding, like, okay, I'm about to kill Avon's nephew. Like, just one more, like, something to give, like, a sense of where his mind was at to really go through with it. Like, I'd have liked to see that, just to connect to, okay, to now we're at
Right.
$10,000 to kill D'Angelo. Like, well, damn,
Stringer is a cold guy, man. He doesn't need a
shit.
reason to do it. He's just he's all business here, and
Yeah. But
you know,
Avon does tell him he's been fair. So maybe
yeah,
that's the one in between, kind
yeah.
of like.
They don't want to
Well,
like
yeah, you'll be
beat you
fine if
over
I
the
kill your nephew. You'll be
yeah.
all right.
They don't want to beat
It
you
won't
over the
bother
head
you
with
too much.
yeah. They don't want to beat you over the head with it. I think they're just like,
Yeah. Which is,
but like
I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. I just wanted to, it's such a big moment for him
right.
to take out his right hand man's nephew. Like, I just would have like one more just defining moment to be like, all right, yeah, I'm going through it.
This
Fuck
is
it.
what
Like,
yeah.
but it's not needed at all. It's just for Leland. I would
Right.
have liked
Right.
to see it, but it's not needed at all. They do a phenomenal job at not showing, the small moments to lead up to the big moments. Like, y'all aren't stupid. Use your heads, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, but no, you're right because it is like a thing of like, oh yeah, but that's right. It took a couple times to piece that together for me. Um, and yeah, you want him to have that second chance, almost the same way Cuddy did. Cuddy did his time. I know D'Angelo is like serving 20 years, but like when the more you serve, if you're a good, like if you don't break any rules and you do your job,
you
he's
get
a
out.
young guy. You get out for good. You can get out early for a young. They could start to shave years off that sentence. He could have
Levy
gotten
is
out
his
like with
lawyer. Levy can pull, like, he can
yeah.
you can pull some flex, Levy,
He
and
could have gotten out in like 7 to 10 or something like that.
yeah, you can
You
pull
know.
some flex and talk to the right appeal boards and grease the right shoulders to
Say
get
like,
him
look,
some
this guy
time
was 20
reduced.
years old. He got indoctrinated into this young thing. He's not like they could have pulled some stuff like that.
He might, you know what though, Jack? He might have had to do, and I don't know if Jesse maybe can touch on this as far as what he thinks. Like, he probably would have, because of his third strike, he may have had to do at least what, Jesse, 40% of that time, or
Well,
like,
the show. So I don't know. I heard Rico, which is this was sort of like a Rico case, right?
a
I heard
conspiracy
you have.
case.
I heard you have to do like 85% of your time. I don't know. I saw that on a Takashi 6ix9ine interview but I think it's like, but for the show wise, I think D says I can get out in 10.
10. I
So
can do
so
Yeah,
10.
we'll go with the show and saying he has to do 10 because he
He'd
tells
have to do
Avon I
50.
I
He'd have
have
to
to
do
do
50%
10.
of it.
it's
Yeah.
10 years. I mean, I know that sucks, right? 10 years. I'm thinking like if he's 21 and he gets out and he's 31, it sucks, right? I'm just saying it's not the end of your life. You could still have
Yeah.
plenty. You have your whole life in front of you still.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a sad scene when he gets killed. Um, it's so bleak, you know.
Yeah, great acting by this. So a lot of under five lines. Great acting. The
Yeah,
teacher, who I think he was the direct. I think he directed an episode, if
Hmm.
I'm not
The
mistaken.
one in the jail and the one that's in jail.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
looked. If I'm not mistaken, his name is Richard Price. I think.
okay,
I looked him up. I reached out to him. um, the guy who killed D'Angelo.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
yeah, he was great.
there's some good acting.
You
So
want him to, even when you're watching that, you want you're like still like, come on, fucking, you know.
right. So you mentioned the stripper. A lot of good under five dialogue, which
Mhm.
Michael Kevin Darnell told us is called under
Mm-hmm.
five.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good under five here. Oh
Yeah,
well, the guy who killed him might have had more than five, but I'm just saying a lot of
Yeah.
good.
Hell of an ending. And also too, just want to touch back, just going into whenever we get to episode 7. Elena kicking McNulty out of that house leads to one of my favorite cold openings is when he has his drunk crash out moment and he ends up
all
in the
right.
diner, like so her kicking him out leads to that next episode where he is tripping.
He
He's
is, yeah,
tripping
he's
balls.
And
up
Mr.
there.
Perry
I love
casted
that open.
Mr. Perry casted that waitress.
Oh, the one he slept with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to Mr. Perry, man. Always the OG, the OG. Man, well, thank you, Jack. Phenomenal
yeah,
breakdown. Jesse, go ahead and give us your standout actors, and I'll
Yeah,
take
so
us
it's
out
gonna
what we
be
got coming.
definitely two. This episode belongs to two actors. Um, but I almost just want to give it to Larry Gillard because this
right.
is his last episode. Um, the monologue with his mom,
Phenomenal.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
Uh, s- I said time and time again, I feel like he's my favorite actor in the series. Just my own
Mm.
personal opinion. Larry Gillard, definitely season one acting. D'Angelo was,
He's the MVP essentially of season 1. Like the story is about
him.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was stories about
him,
him. Yeah, and
kind of
about the
thing. Like,
organization.
and maybe not the MVP. I know I kind of do want to do an MVP of each season because like season 2 for me is Frank and Nick kind of, and season 1 I guess it would
No,
be D'Angelo. It's his
well, he's
story.
the storylines about him
It's about him.
essentially.
Yeah.
Well,
So
well, McNulty, and him are the two actors with the most dialogues. I think.
yeah, season 3 and season 4 and season 5. I have to think about that, but I'm yeah, you're right. I think D'Angelo he is the core of season 1 for sure.
Yeah. But so Larry Gillard, I want, but it's almost hard not to acknowledge Michael K. Williams in the court scene because that he just steals that scene.
Yeah.
So if I have to give it to two, rest in peace, the legendary Michael K. Williams, and Larry Gillard. I don't think any other. I don't even think you could put another actor for this episode
Yeah,
next
it
to
was it
them.
was them two. It was definitely them two. It's too much impact. Like Jack alluded to, how it was essentially leading. Everything was leading up to his death. Like
yeah.
he had that phenomenal moment and reading the books and stuff like that. Like you mentioned, Jesse, the scene with his mom, like the cold shoulder with Avon. Like it's just
That story about how he was left out to get beat up by those, you know,
by
it's
his
so
his
sad.
mom said,
Yeah,
"No, get back out there." They beat the shit out of him.
it's
That
sad, man.
it probably is definitely them two for season
Right,
2, episode 6. Yeah,
Oh, and I want to say for the first time we kind of saw Brianna kind of be a mom.
right. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
When she cried, like just that guilty feeling of like, did I do the wrong thing? Like she was like, those twins beat your ass. Like, did I give you the wrong advice that day? Kind of like,
Y-
I don't. You guys say that like Brianna's like a horrible, which I mean, look, yeah, she talked her kid into doing the years. I think she loved
She,
D'Angelo.
yeah. She's a
no,
child, of
no
Like
course.
questions
Yeah,
asked, bro.
between, well, I'm just saying, but she like loved him and wanted to protect him to the most
She
that she
did,
can. Like
she did.
if you compare her and Naaman's mom, I think
Oh
two
no,
different.
not
Yeah,
different. It's
yeah. But
different.
that's like saying
Yeah,
that's like
that's
the
different
worst.
though.
You know, that's not much of a. You
Come on,
know,
bro. She ain't
no,
let
no, but
Dookie in the house
because we
because
were
he
saying that
smelled, bro. She's a terrible person.
she
because
is.
when we were saying how she was she was a terrible mom for making her son take the years. I
I mean, that was
do
fucked up. That's
Yeah.
not fucked up.
it is, but I do think she genuinely loves D'Angelo.
No, she
I
did.
feel like even when she made him take the years, she kind of thought he was going to be protected in jail. Like
Yeah,
Right.
no, she
she
did.
just
Because
wanted
she
him
asked
to.
Avon about it. She like, you're not going to see him. Danette's not bringing the kid to him. She definitely still cared for him, but she's also, I don't want to call her a queen pin, but she is knee deep in the game too.
Oh no, maybe she's a queen. I think that's actually a good name for her, queen
She's a
pin.
queen pin. Like she
Yeah.
talking to suppliers. She dealing with products. She dealing with money laundering. Like she's in it. You know, she was responsible for paying Weebay's family when after everything went down. She was still handling that. Like she's a queen pin. So
But the ultimate irony or hypocrisy, though, with that story of telling, him telling his son to stay out and like deal with those bullies, is like Avon never had to stay out, and like he always found the loophole or the way out of it, or he pushed
yeah,
sends on somebody else, or you know what I mean. D'Angelo was always the one who had to sacrifice. He was always the one who got the short end of the stick.
yeah,
Really, like a loving parent, I think. I mean, yeah, every woman loves their kid, but like I think like she's the
I think
more
Avon and
moral thing
String
would have
were
been
the
like, no,
bullies.
you
I
you
think that's
fucking
the difference. I think Avon and String were the bullies growing up. you know.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But no,
No,
I mean, she should have been like, no, Avon, you take the fucking sentence if you're, I mean, like
right.
honestly, that's what I would have done. I don't
And
know.
she said it. She said if you want him to do that, but that means you got to step up. Well, he wasn't going to step up, but like she said,
And
he'll
she,
do it
she
for you.
she was gaslighting
She
him
was
though.
gassing
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
We know,
exactly. Yeah.
because he wouldn't have taken Avon's spot. Stringer was next up, regardless, like we said.
Um. So,
But
okay. So, announcement to the fans. Well, thank you, man, with being with us on these interviews, Mr. Alonzo Wilson. Once again, I apologize for arguing with you over what the color of the shirt was.
me too. Look,
You
and
should know
look,
what the color.
this navy blue. This navy blue. It look kind of black.
That's
If you
not
might
navy
be
blue.
colorblind,
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
you
I thought
got
you were
it,
talking about
Mr.
your
Alonzo.
shirt. Oh,
You
okay.
were
Yeah.
right.
You have my apology here on camera. I apologize.
It's hard to
I
tell
argue with you.
color when you're viewing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I know. But when the guy who made it is telling you navy blue, and you're like, no, I think it's
Yeah.
black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know y'all love the show, but let me tell y'all, like, I actually worked on the show. Y'all as bigger fans as y'all are, y'all can shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Let me
Stay in
tell
your
y'all,
lane.
I was there. He was like,
Oh.
and we were so confident. He was like, damn, maybe
And
it
we
was
we
black.
made him doubt it. We made
Shit,
him doubt it.
maybe
He
it
was like,
was a
oh,
black
maybe.
shirt on
You're
stringer.
so
He was
confident. You're
like,
like, all right, yeah, fuck,
yeah, he
maybe
was like,
this.
maybe it was black. Maybe.
Shit,
Like these guys watched it more than I did, so fuck it.
Shit.
Yeah.
But thank you
um,
thank you so much, Mr. Shout out to Miss Donna always as
Yeah,
well.
of
yeah,
course.
Miss Donna, of course. So we're
Executive
gonna
producer.
start a little special. Hope you guys stay with us. We're gonna review We Own the City, who has
Mhm.
a bunch of the same behind the scenes people and people that came on the show already worked on it. I think the next guest we have on actually worked on both The
Yeah.
Wire, and they have a huge so hope for you guys to stick with us for We Own the City, and
Mhm.
and
It's only
and
6 episodes.
yeah, and we're gonna show you, like, we're gonna make this channel grow, and you
Yeah,
guys are
we're
helping
gonna
us
we're
grow.
gonna merge the worlds, and it'll be something because Jack's never seen it, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be something to let Jack's imagination and his research capabilities run wild on We Own This City.
I'll
But
be
it's
discovering it with the audience in real
yeah,
time.
it's
Yeah,
and
so
I think
we'll
that's
do
gonna be
We
dope.
Own the City as a spoil free one, which will be a little different than we do The
Yep.
That
Wire.
oh shit. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's
that's a
gonna
good yeah,
be because these will be characters that the
right.
audience might not. I mean, let's say seen the show, but Jack, you're gonna be watching it for the first time, so it's gonna be dope to kind of let you narrate something that you just watched for the first time. Like it's gonna be, and I think as you do your research, because we're gonna tap into the political aspect of the corruption from the cops to politics to officials, like it's gonna the stuff that we're gonna research and bring you when we break this show down. I think it's gonna be really dope. So definitely looking forward to it. We'll be putting out our interviews. We have a hidden interview in the vault that we haven't did one post about yet. It is the Johnny 50 interview. that we will be releasing to you all in about a week's time. By the time this comes out, that interview will be out. But we've got some stuff in the vault that we're going to release to you all. A few more Wiretap Truth random episodes that we'll probably shoot while we're doing We Own This City, because we want to get out the top 10 cold opens. We know we want to do that, and maybe an episode of the best episode of The Wire. So we'll probably do that in between. But we're going to pick up season 2, episode 7 for The Wire at the top of the year once we wrap up We Own This City. So we appreciate you all sticking with us as we grow and we get into other aspects, other interviews. We just appreciate you all continuing to rock with the channel. Appreciate all the love. If you want to be on a random Wiretap Truth episode, you got a concept for us, reach out to Jack, reach out to myself, reach out to Jesse, comment on the channel. We'll get back to you, and we'd be glad to have anybody on that, you know, wants to talk about The Wire or has some concepts for us that they want us to talk about. We're open to it, so feel free to reach out. Again, this has been Wiretap Truths. Again, please like, share, subscribe, comment. We appreciate all the love, and we will see you all in a week for We Own This City, episode 1. Thank y'all so much. Peace.
Peace.